everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ken Digest and I'm coming live from our home in East Africa, Kenya. And before I continue, let me invite you all to the channel. For my regular viewers as well as for my new viewers, welcome. So today it's on a Thursday and it's a little bit sunny, but today we are installing the frames because in my previous videos, in one of the videos, there was one of the video where we were making the door frames with one of our masons. So today we are installing them, and before we continue with that, I want to show you one thing which we mentioned in our previous video. Remember when one of our cow was having labor pain? So well, she delivered that day at night. So let us go and let me just go and show you the calf. So it's one of the things we've been working on just behind the scenes. For those that have been following on with the channel, know about it. So we are planning to keep some cows, both the dairy and the local ones. But for now, we have a few dairy cattle, actually 2 calves and 1 cow. Then the rest are just the local ones that we usually have, because for them they're easy to keep. So we are doing that because we want a smooth transition, because if you go for the dairy cattle just at a go like that and you don't really have that knowledge on how to keep them, it will pose a very huge challenge to you. So she's over here. She's white. She's a white cow. But when we were that day, I remember saying that because the mom is white, maybe the calf will be white. But that isn't the case. So this is the calf over here. So he's a male. He's a male calf. And I wanted a female calf simply because female calves usually grow up to deliver more babies. But if you go to the farms where people keep cows, when a cow delivers a female, I don't know the name for a female calves, but no, for a male or even a female, but if a cow delivers a male calf, the owner usually sells them, because the male calves are usually hard to keep if they are dairy cattle. But this one is just the local breed, and he has just begun his journey. Usually male cows tend to work a lot, I think, even for us. So in the nearby, maybe coming few years, maybe 1 year to 2 years, he will be on the field plowing or anywhere doing some work. So for now, it's just seated over here. They usually don't like it's so sunny, so they usually prefer a shade. Yeah. So this is the calf. It's this one is which color? I think it's brown. It's a brown color. It's very healthy, very big. Yeah. And he's totally different from the mom. Maybe the male cow was this color and the genes were really strong. So he was delivered a day before yesterday at night. So yesterday he stayed just drinking milk. And when a cow gives birth, or any other female mammal, usually there is cholesterol. The first milk that the cow produces is called cholesterol. So that's usually important for the calf's health. So usually for us, the first 2 weeks, we usually let the calf drink all the cholesterol, because once when I was a little bit younger than am I now, I tried drinking cholesterol, but it's so strong. It's not, you can't really drink it. So, but it has a lot of nutrients. That's why it's usually preferred for the calf to have it for first 2 weeks. It varies from one cow to cow. For some cows it usually even goes for 3 weeks. So I think also it depends with the cow, but for the dairy ones they usually take some time. Yeah, so we'll let him rest with the mom over there. So we just gave the mom some feeds. This one is napier grass. Yes. So when you want your cow to produce a lot of milk, when you cut napier grass from the farm, you should store it somewhere cool. Then store it for like maybe 2 days to 3. Then give it to the cow, not from the farm directly, then give it to the cow. If you store it for some time, it will dry a little bit, then that produces a lot of milk compared to the fresh napier grass from the farm. So maybe that's a tip for you if you're planning, or if you're keeping some cows. Then that's a very nice tip. So today we are making the frames, as I've said, and the masons have just started with because you have to remove some. Let me just show you, because when we were installing the windows, you have to, even the doors, you have to remove this section from the way down so that the frames can fit in. Yeah, and before we even go into that, our home usually has a lot of termites. I think that's because we have some wooden structures in the compound, and also because I think of the season. Maybe it's the season of termites. So sometime back I was at my uncle's place and we were just clearing some termites near the house using termite top. So today we also have the same chemical, so we are gonna use it. It's over here. We are gonna use it to disinfect our door frames, because we also used disinfected our frames for the roofing. So we are gonna also disinfect the door frames, so that we can at least prevent any further destruction from the termites before they are installed. So I think we are gonna get into that before we continue with the video. So if you are new, please feel free, you can leave a comment below, and you can share also the video. So we are gonna start. So we are gonna mix the termite top, and the mixture we are gonna pour into the holes that the door frames are gonna be placed, because as we speak they are drilling the holes, such that when we put on the mixture, the termites later on won't come and eat the wood, because you know this termite top, it really smells. It's really strong. I'm gonna mix a very strong mixture of both water and this. So I don't know which amount we are gonna use, but the number of doors are 8. We have because I'm talking for the inner doors, 8 doors. So the holes are almost 16, because there are some spaces that we are not gonna put doors, just for spacious, for the house to be spacious, because if you put too many doors on the house, it won't really look nice. So I have my cousin, he's gonna help me with the camera. So we are gonna put 100 ml of termite top into 6 liters of water. So I'm using this bucket that we use for the paint. So 100 ml is 2 of these. Yeah, so yeah, look at them. the termite top is so smelly, really strong. So I'll put 120. So let me add 20. Yeah. So that one will be enough. So I've added like 20 ml because I want it to be so strong. So this one is 6 liters. So the mixture is white. So that's how, if you mix it with water, it turns white. So I'm gonna just put all of it. So this one, we'll store it and use it later. So this one, we are gonna start it, then start pouring. There are some spaces, there are some spaces that that they have already dug. So we are gonna start with those ones so that I can give them space to put on the mixture of concrete. And but before I do that, I'm gonna ask them, because you know the mixture is so smelly. The mixture is so smelly. I don't want to interfere also with their work. So if they tell me to pour, well and good. If they tell me to wait, it's also okay. So let us go and see the number of doors that they've already done. So I'll put this mixture just in the house. So I'm seeing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They've already placed two door frames. So they've started with Moses. Yeah, so they've already done like three door frames. So this is for the washroom. So this is the part I'm saying that we are pouring in here before they mix the concrete. Kora akiana read too, cause all yat mar ninich. Ngeno du.
Ya bi chao ko bio ching mi yo lo di ra ni. Gino lo sa.
Ti mo ya wasa ma wa di na ja.
Ko ka ko se ti ko di. Ka tu do mo nya lo le gis mi ti.
So I'll have to wait. So this is the parts that they've already mixed. They've already dug, I mean. So the other door frames are over here. These ones, I was part of it, you know. I had we have one of the guys that usually does for us. So when he came, I decided to help. So we did like I did like 3 doors, then left him to do the rest. So they are like, they've already placed 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So I'll have to I'll have to seal it, then wait for them to finish, because that's the way to go. So I'm gonna close it so that when they finish, immediately they finish, I start, so that they don't wait for me. So I'm doing this prior because my dad told me much earlier. I just delayed. So I'm gonna seal it, then put it just inside here. Inside there it's a little bit cool. Yeah, so Let me put it here. Yeah, somewhere here. Yeah. So with that, we are ready to go. So I've heard them over saying that it can be done. The mixture that I've prepared can be mixed with cement. So when they are mixing it with cement. But I think if they do that, because the cement is already wet, the water in it will dissolve it more. But the good thing, I've added 20 ml. I've added extra termite. So they have prepared it, they'll handle it, but I'll be there to see. And yeah. So once we finish with the door frames, I think maybe because they are doing it so fast, maybe by 5, because they usually finish the job around 5, latest 6, and there are like 8 doors. The cement is already there, the soil is there, so it's an easy work. It's a one-day job. Then we'll see how it goes. Yan significa kok ya wiya to. Ano ka polo pobre.
Muji.
Rum. Lama. So literally we are done with the door frames, because those are some of the key places that should be dealt with before we even start plastering, because as you've seen, if we don't and plaster the wall nicely, we'll be forced to demolish the places that we've nicely plastered in order to place the door frames. But if you place them now, it's usually very easy. And you've seen they were using the plumb line, the rope that had a pointy metal at the end of it. It's called a plumb line, and it's usually used to make the door frames straight, because if you don't do that, the doors will be slightly tilting. So usually they do that at 90 degrees so that the door can be straight. So let us look, because we did like 8 doors, including the kitchen, the store in the kitchen. There's a name that Miss Flay usually calls it, but there's a store in the kitchen for maybe keeping some of the cereals. But the total frames that we made were 8. That includes also the washrooms and the bedrooms. So pantry. So Miss Flay usually calls it pantry, something like that. So these are the frames, and so let me just say something. If you notice, the doors are usually placed on the inside. For example, if a door is being opened going in, the frame is placed on the inside. So that was one of the things I noticed, because as they build, I usually take note of some very small things that some people might not put into consideration. But I noticed that most doors are on the inner side of the rooms, because the doors are gonna be open to the inner side of the rooms. So the frames were made by cedar tree, and cedar trees are usually one of the best timbers for building, not even door frames, but you can even use it for some finishing in the house, because I mentioned it some few weeks ago, and someone told me the reason as to why people use it is because termites don't really like the smell that the cedar tree produces. So usually when you build using it, the termites won't really affect the house, because there are some of the cedar posts that we used in the compound some very many years back. They are still standing, and those were cedar trees. And I think when I'm done with the whistling pine trees, and also I planted some few eucalyptus, once I'm done planting them, because there are so many, I don't want to, because if I plant too much, they'll overwhelm me. So I'm also planning to plant the cedar tree. Maybe in future they'll get into use somewhere, but they're the best trees. And we even tried to to disinfect them using termite, and we just poured in the holes such that it's so strong, because while we were pouring, the masons were a little bit not comfortable because of the smell. It's a very strong smell, and we are hoping by the, let's say, even 5 years from now, if the termites try to come beneath, because if you're building a home, there's usually sometimes that maybe you're not at home, maybe for a few months, maybe it's also raining, maybe it's also a season of termites, and usually when you put people in the compound, when you leave, they are not usually that responsive to things like that, because we've had the same scenario in our home. So I know it's something that I know. So you'll find yourself, maybe your house is being infected by termites. So if you disinfect the hole, and because the smell is so strong, and we even covered it with some concrete, the termites won't be able to eat the wood. And also the wood, the smell that comes from it is so strong. So I'm hoping one day that maybe I'll get to plant, because the guy told me that even when the tree is growing, when the tree is not cut, you can smell. It's like eucalyptus. There's some types of eucalyptus that produces a very nice scent, especially in the morning and also in the evening. And also some eucalyptus are usually, they are like pyrethrum. Mosquitoes don't really love them. So if you plant them around your home, you won't really have problems with mosquitoes, but I doubt if that is true. But these are the spots that I'm talking about. So some of the, you see, like this part, we poured it in here, then covered it with wet concrete. It's still smelly because the stench is so strong. So I mentioned that there are some parts of the house that we were never putting doors. We won't even put doors. And for example, this part, because this is the way to the washroom. So if you put a door on this side, in this part of the house won't be spacious, and we are planning for the house to be spacious. So this is the dressing room, or some place that maybe you can come. There will be sinks and some few wardrobes here, and some mirror, and the washrooms are gonna be on this side. Same to the master bedroom. Let us go and check, because we've also done the same for the washrooms. And if you see, there are two doors. This is the one entry to the master bedroom, then this one is the door to the washrooms. So this part, we haven't placed any door frame, or even we won't place any door, such that we want it to be spacious. So if you just get into the washroom, it's a free walkway, not again opening a door and such. So the plan on the other side is just the same for this side, for the washrooms. So the washrooms will be on this side, while on this side we'll have the same. This one is a little bit bigger, so they'll put some shoes, same as on the other side, though we have also, that will be like if they want to, because on the other side we have bedrooms, you can put your shoes in the drawers. But on this side, because this is the master bedroom, they can decide to put shoes over here, because there'll also be some wardrobes, mirror, such like things that usually are placed in the washrooms. So it's a very, I know it's not like you can't really see the full plan of it, because it's when we are making them, and it's the skeleton part of the house, because these are just there are no doors, the walls have not been plastered. We've done the piping. We are about to place the cables. So I'd say this is just the skeletal part of the house. We haven't done the ceiling boards. So in a few months, I know we'll look at back and see how this place was. See how it's very. So we still have some bricks that have been demolished, because I once said when I was starting the in the middle of the video, I said that if you don't put these ones now, because even for now we are forced to demolish. If you see this part, we are forced to demolish so that this part can sink into the wall. This one will hold this one. This steel, this one is a wall pass attached to the frame, door frame. It holds the door frame to the wall. Yeah, so we are also forced to demolish the wall a little bit so that we can fit the old door frame. Yeah, so I think this is the door frame that hasn't been plastered. Not really plastered, but I'm seeing they've already hold on it down here and also on this side, so it can't really move. These other parts will be removed. These are just for support, and also this one just for support. Yeah, so what I was telling you, let me show you. You see, you look at how the door frame is made. This is the wall, then the door frame is inside. You see this wall, it's aligning with this one, such that if we do plastering on this part, it will align. But if we do plastering on this side, it will even come outside like this. So the door frame is on the inner side of the room, because the door will be open or heading this way, not going the other side. So I think that was very important of me to notice. I never knew that until today. No one told me, but while I was just walking inside, just observing, that was one of the things I greatly observed. Yeah, so I'd like to say we are done, and it's been very, very busy day for us, because we had to do away with the doors, install them on the walls, because they've been on the floor for I think a week and some days. So we wanted to do away with them, install them, so that we can forget about it. Because there's also one window, because I think 2 weeks we were making the windows. Miss Fleur was around, and we had a problem with one of the windows. So the window was returned, remade, then was brought. So just like I've said, we are done with the frames. We would like to be done with the windows, because we want to move to another thing. Because as you build, it's always what's next. So in I think my next video after this, I will be elaborating or explaining, or even installing the window with the mason, because it's only one window, and it's just if I estimate, it's like less than an hour type of a work. So it's nothing big, but we want it to be done such that if we focus on maybe putting the window panes, it's just the window panes, not that we are putting some window panes on some windows, and some are not yet done, so we can't really put the windows. Yeah, so I think I'll be looking towards that. Other than that, we've been cruising nicely. It's been a very, as I've said, very busy week, a very busy day, because building involves planning, and that's usually leave that to our dad, because most of the masons are my dad can easily relate to them, so he can contact them, they can agree, on the budget, something like that. So it's usually very easy for him to communicate with them. Ever since we started, it's been the one calling them, talking with them, agreeing on the prices. Because if you leave that to someone like me, I think they'll take an advantage. Yeah. So, or even Miss Flair, especially now Miss Flair, they can really take advantage. But we appreciate for that him being around. The house is theirs, so most of the things that we do, we involve them, and we also tend to go with what they like. Because if you're building a house for your parents or anybody who is inspired or is aspiring to build for maybe his or her parent a home, I think you should really consider what he or she likes, because you can build a house according to your own liking and force him or her to like the same thing. People are different, so you should at least consider what he likes or she likes, then do that, and also involve them. They'll feel they are part of it rather than doing it alone and something like that. So we are done, I'd say, with the door frames, and it's just bit by bit. Once we are done with those important things, then we'll start plastering, because we want to, when we start plastering, we just plaster we just plaster, just no plastering, it's just throwing concrete. And once we are done with that, we don't want to demolish anything, because construction is very hard, very hard. So I think my next video will be about the window. I'm looking towards that. So there's also one thing that I want to mention. While we were installing the door frames, because the door frames were attached with the wall pass, so that the wall pass can be attached on the wall, and we had to demolish that part of the wall. So it's a good thing while we were starting construction, even before, we made some bricks just in the compound. We never bought bricks actually, so some of the bricks that were broken are over here, so we were using them. So they've really had a very great importance. You can imagine, after just sitting here for a while, this was the place that we did our first bricks. They were like 4,000 to 5,000 bricks, and we used them and made another one just next to the house. That one we had a very huge problem with it, because the first time we made it, the whole brick broke into half, fell down. Then we had to rearrange it again. But most importantly, I want to talk about these bricks. No, they are broken bricks. So I thought that maybe they were gonna we were not gonna use them, I mean. But they've had a very, because once we demolish, you have to insert a brick over there, then plus put cement on it so that it can hold the door frame. So they've had use, and also, and I'm seeing if you're building, don't throw away some of the left pieces, whether they are bad, just keep them somewhere, because maybe along the way you might need them. We also have some few stones that are laying over there that they are not bad stones, but according to the house, they are not according to the gauge or standard. But usually they say gauge because they build houses using gauge, especially the stones, because some stones are usually carved bigger, some are usually carved smaller. So for these ones, they can build another house that the gauge is totally different. So I thought we were never gonna use them, but I'm seeing they're gonna be used. And also there are some that are over here. So because when you put the roofing, there's usually some spaces. Let me just show you. You see, like that other part, Yeah, so those spaces has to be filled. Not really, it's not a big space, because we are gonna also use timber on that part of the house. So for the stones, they are gonna find also a small task. So we have some, these are the bricks I was talking about, and these ones are so many. These ones are gonna be used to make the wall plate. The wall plate is the one on the veranda, but on the inner side, so you have to cover that part so that someone doesn't get inside. So these are the some few stones also. These ones are less compared to the other one. So before I finish the video, let me just show you what is a wall plate. So the wall plate, see, just like this part, let me show you. Just like see this part, this one is a gable. You should do the same for this part. So usually this part is left to be done after putting the roofing, such that you fill all the spaces. Because if you leave it like this and place the ceiling board, when someone stands here, someone might enter inside the house. You see, someone might enter. So we are gonna fill this wall plate using the bricks, because we did the partitioning using bricks, and that was also the plan. The plan was the first two courses were to be stones like they are, because above that is now the bricks, and between the space between the stone and the bricks is the ceiling board. So it won't necessarily be seen, and putting stones up there doesn't really matter that much. Yeah, so I think with that I'm gonna end my video. It's been very I'd say a long day, but the good thing, we were working inside the house, because just, you know, the door frames, compared to roofing, you are on the roof, it's sunny, or when you're making the walls, it's also sunny, you get tired very fast. So I think with that I'm gonna end my video. I'm looking forward to the window, so stay tuned. You can like the video if you watch this till this part. I'm very, very grateful. So take care of yourself, and let's meet in my next video. Bye bye.